99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Adenike Oyetunde, and I have two gentlemen in the studio, both from Nigerian Shippers Council. Yes, I always say Nigeria Shippers Council, and they're here. The first person is Mr. Samuel Vongtau, Director, Legal Services, and Mr. Glory Onojedo, who is the Deputy Director of Public-Private Partnership. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so I'm going to ask that you please speak directly into the microphone so that people would hear you very well. There you go. So, in 1978, a certain council was established and was charged primarily with the responsibility of protecting the interest of Nigerian shippers. So they're here today to talk to us about a bit about that. We'll talk about a number of other things, inland ports. We'll talk about the impact that indigenous shippers and ship owners would have on the economy of Nigeria, as well as a specific program they are having coming in a few days. It's something that I think everybody who has an interest in this sector should participate in. So let's get started very quickly. Mr. Can I just call you Mr. Samuel?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Mr. Samuel, there's so much about the NSC, what you do, what your responsibilities are, what the limits are. Can you take us, very briefly, because I'm hoping that some other persons can learn what it is that the Nigerian Shippers Council does and why you are in existence.
Thank you very much. The Nigerian Shippers Council is primarily a federal government agency.
Okay.
Established by Decree number 13 of 1978. Now, the Nigerian Shippers Council Act, Chapter N133, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. The Nigerian Shippers Council came into being as a result of the circumstances in the shipping industry.
Okay.
Prior to the establishment of Nigerian Shippers Council, shipping services providers were kind of exploitative. The shipping services were deteriorating, characterized by increase in charges,
Okay.
poor service provision, and a lot of other unwholesome activities. And this is it was taking a toll on the economies of developing nations, especially Nigeria. And therefore, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development recommended the establishment of shippers councils by all developing nations to kind of protect their interests. So Nigerian Shippers Council was established to serve as a countervailing force against the exploitative excesses of foreign ship owners and other providers of shipping and related services.
Okay. All right, so you've been in existence for this long, and some people, because you know how it usually is, we don't know things are in existence until we have a cause to maybe bring something to the country, or have a family member or a neighbor say, oh, I brought something into the country and this is happening to what it is I have brought. Can you tell us, I was telling him off the air yesterday that, so I want to bring in stuff into the country. I know that there's so many agencies involved. I know there's so much involved. Now, can you just quickly run us through what I should ordinarily do? Say I want to I want to import, what can I say now? Just anything. Don't let me limit it to any product. So I want to import something into the country. I've traveled, I have tried to get it here. The quality of the ones that I have here are not good enough. What do I do in terms of the offices to go to? What steps to take? And are there necessary documents that they would ask or would require of me as an intending importer or shipper, as the case may be? How does it work? Is it shippers differ from importers? How exactly is it?
Actually, shippers are importers.
Okay.
Importers and shippers. Shippers can be importers or exporters.
Yeah.
As to an intended importer,
yes,
primarily you need to, first of all, obtain a Form M from an authorized dealer bank. You can get this from the website of the Central Bank of Nigeria
Okay.
or the Nigerian Customs Service. When you get your Form M, you are expected to attach certain documents.
Okay.
Primarily, the major ones are the pro forma invoice, which you will obtain from your supplier.
Yeah.
You also have to attach insurance certificate,
Okay.
and also the regulatory certificate of government agencies such as NAFDAC, Standard Organization of Nigeria.
So it always depends on what it is I'm
depending
importing.
on what you are importing, exactly.
So if I'm importing things that have to do that, NAFDAC has powers over, I have to get their own.
You have to get their own.
Okay.
The regulatory power agencies.
Okay. So what else do I get after that?
Well, when you get the Form M, you fill it with the documents, you submit to your dealer bank, which will now pass it to the customs service. And when your goods are coming in, you are expected to, every import is expected to come with certain other documents again.
Okay.
These are, you have to have a combined certificate of value and origin.
Okay, so we know where it's coming from.
Yes. So that has certain information. We don't need to go through all of them now.
Please don't go to
So, and you also need a final commercial invoice. Also need packing list, documents like clean shipped on board bill of lading.
Okay, bill of lading.
And you also maybe an airway bill, as the case may be.
Okay.
You also need the manufacturer certificate of production.
So you know how, when it was manufactured or produced, how long
Exactly.
it has. Oh, okay, so that like you're importing.
Yes, what you are importing, and then the standards also.
Okay.
You also need to have a certificate, a laboratory test certificate. That is if you are importing things like beverages, food, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and other regulated items.
So when do we get to your office? All of this whole many things, after getting all of these things and a lot more that you have left out owing to time, when do we get to the Nigerian Shippers Council desk?
Okay, the Nigerian Shippers Council desk can only, give you information on all this. We don't directly deal with these certificates or these documents. Our own is to give you information, or you can get to our desk when you have problem with your importation. Okay. Because we are to protect your interests. Okay. What we can do is, if you have any problem with the importation, or you have any information you need, there's information that you don't know, then you come to us. We give you the proper information. When you have any problem with the importation, you come to our desk. We'll now
when you say we come to
intervene on your behalf.
Is it a walk-in? Can we do these things online? Because I know you have a website.
Yes.
And so I'm very sure about it. It's shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Exactly.
That's okay. So at what point do I get to your desk? Literally, is it online here, or do I walk into an office? Where your office? How does it work?
We are very open. You can come. You can approach us online.
Okay.
You can walk into any of our offices. We have offices all over the country.
Okay.
In almost every state, we have an area office.
In almost every state.
We have area office, but zonal. We have about 6 zonal offices spread all over the political zones, and we have area offices in most states to cover, the entire country. Okay. And you can walk into any of them. We have information centers in all these offices, where you can get the information on your trade, trade information, importation and exportation.
You said clearly that you're here to protect the interest of the Nigerian shippers.
Yes.
And there are a lot of people that are listening that have had so many issues. Importers, goods were not properly taken care of. Do you protect that extent of interest? So I have done all of this. Say I'm bringing a car. There was a time where we all knew, not like everybody had a one-on-one experience. We either knew indirectly most times. People who had imported cars, for instance, when it was still very high. and they'll say, oh, they took out the stereo, they took out this, they took out that. Do you also protect my interest to that extent? Or is it solely dependent on the extent of insurance that I carried on that good that I was bringing to the country?
Yes, we protect your interest indirectly in the sense that we can go through the contract of, a freightman.
Okay.
If your vehicles was vandalized or something, when it is in the custody of the carrier, we intervene on your behalf and we tell the carrier, look, this thing was in your custody, it was vandalized, so it is you that is responsible for restoring it. So, but if the thing was vandalized after it has been landed, then the terminal operators, you make a claim. The person you are making a claim against is the person who will intervene between you and the person.
Okay. There was a cry at some point in time that the NSC wasn't protecting the rights of people stemming from arbitrary imposition of charges on the shippers.
Yes.
How far has the NSC gone in this regard?
Yes, we have done a lot.
Why, let me ask you why are you laughing first?
Well, because considering the regulatory role of the council,
Yes.
that's an issue that is on the front burner right now.
Okay.
So as soon as you mentioned it, I know we are coming to that. And
Okay, so let me have you address us on that then.
the shippers, there are one of the major mandate of the council as a port economy regulator is to protect the interest of stakeholders.
Yes.
And that involves both the service providers and service users.
Yes.
Now, over the years, particularly when the ports were concessioned, without the appointment of a regulator, and the concessionaires behaved as, of course, because there was no agency to regulate. So some were charging arbitrary charges, rates, and so forth. So but that's why the government now had to appoint a regulator in Nigerian Shippers Council, and Shippers Council has taken several steps by issuing notices, on allowable rates and charges and the amounts.
So when you say allowable, it means literally like flat rates?
Because there were several of them. In fact,
so it's like we're imposing. You are telling me I stop at this gate A. Mr. Lagbaja collects. This agency collects this. I go to gate B. So it's like I'm repeating the same charges that I'm being asked to pay.
Somewhat, because there were as much as 15 different rates and charges that some of the terminal operators and shipping companies were imposing on Nigerian shippers. But when I say allowable, in 1997, I guess, yes, there were those charges that were approved by the Honorable Minister of Transportation.
Okay.
And there were just 6 of them. So,
Shippers Council had to 15 is another question.
So it's another question. And that's why, because there was no regulator, so they could go out, impose charges and arbitrarily, and even the amount.
Okay. If you're just joining us, this is Legal Angle, and I'm having a chat with both Mr. Samuel Vongtau, the legal advisor, Director of Legal Services at Nigerian Shippers Council, and Mr. Glory Onojedo, Deputy Director of Public-Private Partnership from the Nigerian Shippers Council as well. It's Legal Angle. We'll take a short break and we will be right back to stay with us.